Wild Botswana. Episode 5. Bakari's Pride. From the thicket into the open, he steps out, the lion named Bakari. His name means one born of noble destiny, and it fits him well. His thick mane glows with shades of golden coal, especially dark and dense on the chest, like the mantle of an ancient warrior. His muscular frame moves slowly, deliberately, but each movement lands like the toll of a bell. Weighty, precise, undeniable. He is around 8 years old, a prime age for a male lion, standing at the peak of strength and dominance. His face carries the history of past battles. A faded scar above one eye, dark streaks near the nose, and slightly tousled fur along his cheeks. This is not merely a predator. This is a seasoned fighter, one who no longer proves his strength, but simply affirms it by being. He walks across the scorched grass without looking back, without hiding. No one rushes him, and nothing threatens him. This is his moment, his land, his family. He's returning to his pride. Under the shade of a sprawling tree, they wait, the lionesses, younger males in his care, and 4 restless cubs, just learning the shape of life. Tiny paws cling to their mother's side. Baby teeth nibble at her ear, her tail, her fur. They don't yet know the harshness of the world. They only know her warmth, and she knows he is near. The lionesses have already noticed his approach. One of them, the seasoned sentinel, lifts her head slightly, ears forward, eyes calm and sure. That's the sign. He's back. Bakari steps closer, heavy yet graceful. His eyes are warm amber, but his gaze is sharp. He slows at the edge of the brush, surveys his domain with a regal calm then. Without hurry, lifts his tail and marks a nearby bush, his land, and he states it wordlessly. It isn't the cubs who greet him first. It's one of the lionesses, perhaps a younger mate or his sister. She bounds toward him with a light, feline spring, playfully nudging him with a raised paw. A mock nip at his neck, more flirtation than challenge. Her eyes sparkle, and she almost purrs. Bakari doesn't push her away. He's looking at Nala. She lies in the dappled shade, relaxed yet alert. Her tail twitches, cubs fidget on her back. Nala feels his gaze. Nala rises and begins to move toward him. The cubs, thrilled by the return of their father, squeak with delight and tumble after her. She approaches Bakari with the quiet certainty and tenderness of one who has walked many paths by his side. There's no rush in her steps. Each movement seems to whisper, "You're home." She presses gently against his side, brushes her muzzle through his mane, breathing in his scent. For a brief moment, their bodies align in one fluid motion, wordless. Yet deeply understood, she reaches out her paw to his, inviting him into a moment of play, as if to say, "We're still here, still us." He doesn't resist. He allows it. It's their ritual. And then, one cub, the boldest, spots the black tuft on Bakari's tail. Instantly, it pounces, grabbing at it with tiny paws, as if it were the most fascinating toy in the world. The tail twitches, but Bakari doesn't pull away. He glances back, allows the game to continue. The whole scene glows with warmth. The lion, once the fierce protector, is simply a father now. Around him, his pride, his peace. Even the breeze seems to soften in this moment. Bakari is not hungry. He ate well that morning, long before his return to the pride. Near the tree line, half hidden by the brush, lies the remains of an impala, half devoured. Likely the result of a swift, precise, and royal night hunt. Now, only the shadow of its former life remains: curved horns, a cracked rib cage, paw prints in the dust. The scavengers are beginning to gather. One of the first to arrive, unhurried, unafraid, is a bird with a red face and soft grey plumage. It's a crested guineafowl, likely seeking not meat, but insects drawn to the carcass. It moves confidently, as if certain that the lion has fed and will not return. Amid the brittle branches, like a mask from old folk tales brought to life, sits a crested barbet, the chattering icon of the bushveld. Its plumage is an artist's riot, black speckles on white, bold splashes of red and yellow across the face and chest, and atop its head, a crest like a wild thought frozen in feathers. Crested barbets are solitary by nature. Most of their time is spent searching for food. They eat nearly anything: fruit, seeds, insects, lizards, whatever the land offers. With their strong, curved beak, they dig through bark and soil in pursuit of the hidden. Remarkably, they've been known to stash food for later, tucking it into cracks or under stones. An uncommon trait among birds. This one moves with calm assurance, scanning the ground below for the next morsel. Each step is deliberate, each flick of the head calculated. There's no rush, only presence, the kind that comes from knowing your place. A short distance away, a pair of hornbills peck at the ground, seeming to live in a different rhythm entirely. Where the barbet brings focus, they bring flow, quiet, steady, uninterested in their colorful neighbor. And yet, all are part of the same mosaic, woven into the breath of the savanna. Perched on the curved trunk of a fallen tree, two Smith's bush squirrels sit alert, like sentinels on a wooden bridge. The hollowed arc of the tree might be their home. Tucked safely into its crevices are likely their nests, their secrets. Each squirrel holds something in its forepaws, perhaps a seed, a pod, and gnaws rapidly, businesslike, tails twitching in rhythm. After a moment, one descends to the ground, the other quickly following. They move with a confidence that suggests they know every twig and grain beneath them. One pauses, sniffing the earth. The other rustles through dry grass, searching perhaps for insects, fallen fruits, or hidden caches. Smith's bush squirrels are diurnal creatures, agile, watchful, and curious. Found across the savannas and woodlands of southern Africa, they favor areas where trees offer both refuge and vantage. Their diet is diverse seeds, bark, fruit, insects, even bird eggs when opportunity allows. They don't build elaborate homes, but often rely on tree hollows and fallen logs for shelter. As one squirrel clambers back onto the trunk, the other follows, their movements fluid and practiced. Tails act as rudders, eyes scan the brush. There's no panic in them, only the habitual attentiveness of those who survive, not by strength, but by awareness. In this ever-changing world, they thrive by reading each rustle, each flicker of shadow, and answering with life. Meanwhile, Nala is playing with her cubs. They lie in tall grass beside a fallen log, like a secret den carved from sunlight and shade. The cubs clamber over her, wrestling playfully, tugging at one another's ears and tails. One scrambles onto the log and tries to pounce on his sister, clumsy but full of spirit. Another presses into Nala's side and bats the air with a paw, asking silently for more affection. Nala leans in, opens her jaws, and gently grips a cub by the scruff. The same jaws that could kill an antelope with one bite now hold a child with surgical tenderness. It's discipline, it's nurture, it's everything at once. For her, this is parenting. For them, it's play. For the pride, it's their most fragile treasure. In their world, danger and care are never far apart. While they're small, cubs face threats from jackals, hyenas, even eagles. But some of the worst enemies are unseen. Ticks, fleas, worms, infections. A single bite, a hidden parasite, a weak immune response. Any of these could tip the balance. Their coats may hide parasites. Their bellies might ache from protozoa. If the mother is malnourished or her milk thin, they may not survive. But for now, they look strong. Their legs are short but purposeful. Their eyes bright and curious. Nala licks them often, cleaning not just their fur, but their fears. Her milk is their first shield, and she gives it freely. They leap into the grass, squeal, tumble. And yet, for all their fragility, the cubs live fully, fiercely. They don't know that each day is a test. What they know is warmth, soft shadows, the scent of their mother's skin, and that is enough. In a world where danger waits behind every bush, the feeling of safety, here, now, is its own kind of miracle. Nala stays close to her cubs. Her movements are slow, deliberate, almost ceremonial. She licks one cub's ear while gently nudging another aside with her paw, as if to say, "Your turn will come." There's no rush in her, only quiet control, the kind that comes from a lioness who has seen much and endured more. Around her are 4 little bundles of warmth, 4 new hearts beating for the pride. It's not unusual. A lioness can give birth to anywhere from 1 to 6 cubs, though most often it's 2, 3, or 4. Much depends on her age, her health, the season, and the harshness of the world beyond the grass. Sometimes all 6 are born, and only 2 survive. Sometimes none do. A lioness gives birth alone. She leaves the pride, finds a hollow, a gully, a shelter in thick brush or rock. At first, there is only silence, her and new life. She nurses them, moves them one by one to new hiding places, shields them from rain, from jackals, from flies. And only after several weeks does she return, to introduce them to the pride. And the pride is both her refuge and her responsibility. A typical group includes 2 to 4 adult females, sometimes more. Each has her own young, but they raise them together, nursing each other's cubs, defending them, playing with them. It's like a village with no houses, but a shared home in every heart. There are also young males tolerated for now, future wanderers. And then there's the dominant male. One, maybe two, rarely three, strong, steady. While they reign, they father. While they reign, there is order. But that order is never permanent. One day, from the horizon, others will appear. Outsiders. One, two, maybe three. Their goal is to take the throne. If they win, they will kill all cubs not of their blood. Not out of cruelty, but necessity. The lionesses will return to estrus, and the new kings will sire the next generation. Nala knows this. So do the other lionesses. That's why they stay close. That's why, when danger creeps near, they sometimes run with their young into the thickets. But for now, there is no danger. Bakari is near. He is their protector. While he is strong, they can play. They can nap curled against their mother's side, chew on sticks, slap at the grass with their tiny paws, even bite her tail. While he is here, they are alive, and so they can play a little longer, nuzzle into her fur once more, press their whole bodies against her warmth. In a world ruled by power and chance, these moments are a rare and fragile luxury. Bakari lies beneath a tree, his massive frame pulsing with a deep, rumbling growl. It's not a threat, not anger, it's steady, certain, like a drumbeat echoing through the bones of every creature nearby. These sounds aren't for show. They are a statement. He's telling the world, I am here. To other lions, it's a warning. This land is taken. A king already rules here. Stay back. To his pride, it's reassurance. His voice is an anchor, a wall of protection. The lionesses hear him and know, as long as that voice rings out, there is nothing to fear. Lions rarely guard their lands with violence. More often, it's with scent marks on bushes, silent patrols of the borders, or the occasional commanding roar, like this one. A lion's roar can travel up to 5 kilometers, even if no one is there to hear it. Even if the wind scatters the sound into nothing, he roars. Just so the world remembers, this is his family, and he is watching over it. To an outsider, it may look like he's simply resting, but in truth, he is working. He holds his world in balance. Beneath a bush, in a shaded hollow on warm, sun-soaked ground, lie 2 lions. One of them is Bakari, the formidable ruler of these lands. Next to him rests another male, almost his mirror image, save for a slightly darker mane and a scar tracing across the left side of his face. Perhaps he is Bakari's brother, an ally, a guardian of the same pride. They lie still, breathing slowly and deeply to the rhythm of the evening cicadas. But the cubs have no time for sleep. They dart and tumble like spring winds, biting each other's ears, rolling through dust, clinging to each other's tails with tiny, stubborn claws. And then, a new idea. Two of them sneak up on Bakari. One clambers up onto his back, clutching with soft paws. The other leaps from the side and presses into his belly. Bakari draws in a sudden breath and wakes. He raises his head, not angry, just the look of an adult roused too soon from rest. As he blinks off sleep, one cub switches targets, scurries over to Bakari's brother, and begins licking his massive paw. The lion doesn't move, only narrows his eyes with quiet pleasure, then rolls onto his back. His scar catches the fading light, a pale gleam across a face that holds both strength and patience. The cub continues his earnest grooming until the brother unexpectedly rises and gently taps the cub with a wide paw, not hard, just a nudge, a playful response. Then he steps away, leaving space for more games. The cubs squeal with delight. This is the highest honor. Meanwhile, two others have begun chewing on the black tuft at the end of Bakari's tail. First with caution, then with growing boldness. Bakari closes his eyes again, trying to ignore their mischief, but soon the whole gang joins in. The tuft passes from mouth to mouth, cubs swapping places in a game with no rules. Only joy. When one particularly bold cub charges and crashes into Bakari's back, the great lion lifts his head, sighs deeply, rises to his feet, and walks away without a word. The cubs freeze. Only for a second, then, as if on cue, fling themselves at one another again. In a cub's world, rest never lasts long. Bakari's growl fades not out of fear, but out of understanding. These guests are different. They don't need warning. They aren't here for dominance, for territory, only for water, food, the road ahead. Elephants. From between the trees, the herd emerges. They do not hurry. They walk as if the forest itself makes way for them. Their bodies massive, shaped like ancient clay. Ears twitching slightly, trunks reaching forward, One breaks a branch, another gently inspects a bush. They pay no attention to the pride. They don't even slow down. To them, lions are background noise, a scratch on the landscape. They are stronger, and everyone knows it, even Bakari. Elephants live as families. A matriarch, old and wise, leads the herd. She remembers where water lies, where salt lingers in the earth, where the rains once fell. Behind her follow daughters, sisters, grown calves. Older males might join at times, but more often they walk alone. Sometimes, in moments like this, they rejoin the group briefly, without ceremony. Elephants speak not only in sound, but in tremors that travel through the earth. They sense each other across miles. And they know this path has already been walked. Another still awaits. They wander near the lions for a while, then veer off toward the open plain. The grass there is scorched, golden like the memory of old sunlight. They move through it slowly, heavily, yet soundlessly. Dust rises with each step, trunks swaying in rhythm. They walk on toward whatever calls them beyond the edge of the trees, towards something important. Or maybe just forward. Bakari feels thirst stir. Alone, he heads to the watering hole, slow and assured, the way only those who fear neither meeting nor solitude can move. His shadow stretches across the baked earth. His mane trembles gently in the breeze. He lowers his head and drinks. Water is rare, and each mouthful feels sacred. He drinks deeply, slowly, as if letting the liquid pass through him, bringing strength back into his bones. The lion drinks alone, slightly apart from the others. Head bowed to a narrow trail of moisture, each sip drawing him deeper into concentration, as if sealing the power of this land inside him. This is his territory, his source, and he drinks with the quiet dignity of those who know what it costs to rule. Two lionesses appear later, but they don't approach him directly. They choose a different spot, a little farther down. One leans toward a dark puddle, the other remains seated, eyes alert. Between them and Bakari, it's not distance that separates, it's the fine line between roles, instincts, and hierarchy. He is the leader. They are the pride. Bound yet free. That's how lions exist together, but apart, in a single scene, independence and unity. two cheetahs appear in the open field. Their steps brisk, their bodies tense. They are not hunting, not playing, not resting. They are leaving. Glancing over their shoulders again and again, as if something or someone is behind them. Perhaps they've crossed into a lion's domain, and now they feel the weight of that invisible threat. A lion's territory isn't just marked by scent, it's a warning. When a cheetah crosses that unseen border, everything shifts. If a lion, especially an adult male, spots him, there will be no mercy. A lion doesn't kill a cheetah for food. It's a display of dominance, the removal of a competitor. The cheetah's sleek, nimble body is no match for the lion's brute force. One charge and the lion's jaws close around the neck or spine. A fall, dust, silence. It ends quickly. No chase, no sport. To a lion, the cheetah is not an enemy but a rival, a possible contender for prey, water, space. Any cheetah nearby is at risk, especially if there are cubs in the pride. The males will protect their territory, the females their young. Even if the cheetah poses no direct threat, he will not be allowed close. That's why cheetahs leave, quietly, quickly, as if vanishing before anyone even sees them. After the lions leave the watering hole, new guests arrive, a family of elephants. Their steps are slow, but confident. Among the towering adults, two calves hurry forward, eagerly slurping water through their short, curious trunks. Then, one by one, they nestle against their mother's belly, searching for the one source they've known since birth: milk. Elephant milk is more than nourishment. It's survival in liquid form. Rich, thick, white with a hint of blue. Its fat content can reach 10% or more, 2 or even 3 times that of human milk. Fat delivers the energy needed to grow bodies this large, brains this complex. It holds less lactose than cow's milk, but far more calcium, phosphorus, and magnesium, building blocks for strong bones and, one day, powerful tusks. Unlike cow's milk, it doesn't keep, but it doesn't need to. It's perfectly tailored to the young elephant's needs to fuel a life lived on foot under the sun across vast and thirsty lands. By contrast, human milk is gentler, tuned for brain development and immunity. Elephant milk is fuel for the body first and for survival. Calves nurse often, and for a long time, up to 2 years or more, especially if the mother doesn't conceive again. This milk is their safety, their strength. As long as she's nearby, with her towering form and wise trunk, a calf has all the protection it needs, even in the harsh wilds of Botswana. watering hole at the heart of the savanna is a crossroads of wild lives. Silence here never lasts for long. The elephants have moved on, but almost immediately a new procession of visitors arrives. First come the warthogs, many of them trotting in briskly, with their tails held high like little flags of alertness. Almost every one of them carries a bird on its back, most often a red-billed oxpecker. These birds serve an important purpose, cleaning their host's skin of parasites and tiny wounds. Guineafowls, as always, appear suddenly and everywhere at once. They scurry between the legs of larger animals, picking at crumbs, insects, and scattered seeds. Their sharp eyes constantly scan the surroundings, and their darting movements shift them from one frame to the next like flickers of shadow. Then another wave rolls in wildebeests. The herd is large, dark, tense. They move in unison like a single organism pulsing with silent coordination. Their heads turn, sniffing the ground, cautiously inching toward the water, then quickly retreating again. These grazers live in constant vigilance. Every second of carelessness could be fatal, especially when the ground is still dotted with fresh elephant dung, a sure sign of recent activity and nearby predators. Each species moves to its own rhythm, following its own habits. But all are drawn to the same invisible force, water. It unites the warthog, the wildebeest, the guineafowl, and the quiet birds that perch atop their backs. No one lingers for long. They come, they drink, they search, they watch, and then they leave. Making way for the next, the watering hole breathes like the pulse of the savanna. The warthog seems carved from the very soil of Africa. Coarse, dusty skin, short but muscular legs, curving tusks that jut outward like ancient weapons. He may not be beautiful by usual standards, but in him lives resilience, defiance, and a raw, stubborn kind of life. He walks with his tail high like an antenna, sending out a message. I know where I'm going. It's not random. Piglets use that upright tail to follow their mother. Adults use it to keep direction. In the tall grasses colored just like their hide, the tail becomes a beacon. Warthogs are herbivores, but they aren't picky. They eat roots, tubers, fruits, fungi, even carrion if no other food is available. They dig with their strong snouts, sniffing, searching, gnawing. Their tusks aren't just for show, they can break open tough food and defend when needed. They don't build homes of their own. A borrowed aardvark burrow or a dug-out hollow will do. They back into it to sleep so that their tusks face outward, just in case. Despite their bulk, warthogs can sprint at up to 50 kilometers per h. When danger strikes, they're unpredictable. They can charge, vanish, turn on a dime, A mother will fight without hesitation for her piglets. And more than anything, warthogs survive, even with wounds, even in drought, even in a land ruled by lions. They're not heroes of legend, not stars of documentaries, but they're always there. They are the background on which the great drama of the savanna unfolds, and without that background there would be no stage. All that remains from the night's hunt are ribs, dust, and scent. For several hours, the silence of the savanna has been broken only by the rustle of wings and the ever-present steps of scavengers. One by one, vultures descend upon the fallen impala, and now, by midday, they are finishing their work. Bending their long necks, the birds stretch toward the bones, as if pulling the last traces of life from them. Their powerful beaks tear through tendons and clean out the chest cavity without hesitation. Sometimes a brief squabble flares up a raspy cry, flared wings, a harsh shove, but it fades quickly. Each bird has its portion, its place in this ancient ritual. Scavengers do more than consume the dead, they cleanse the land. Their stomachs can digest even spoiled, bacteria-laden meat, neutralizing disease and rot. It is they who prevent epidemics. Without them, the savanna would drown in decay and illness. A little ways off, standing apart from the flurry, is a Marabou stork, tall, still, like a silent spectator in a black and white overcoat. He doesn't rush. He doesn't interfere. His time will come later when the meat is tougher and the others are full and tired. The sun scorches the earth. Dust clings to feathers and heads. But the vultures don't care. They continue their work slow, methodical, ruthless, yet essential. And when at last only skin and bone remain, the flock spreads its wings. One by one, they lift into the sky, leaving behind only silence and a cleansed patch of land. Thus, the circle closes. What was once life became a meal. What was once a meal became bone. And the bone becomes part of the landscape waiting for someone new tomorrow. A giraffe approaches the waterhole. From the cracks in the dry earth, a narrow stream shimmers evidence of human intervention. This artificial watering point, built in a parched region, has become a magnet, not only for wildlife, but also for travelers. Here, there is always life to be seen, both ordinary and extraordinary. The giraffe looks as if adorned with a garland of living beads. These are red-billed oxpeckers, parasite-picking weavers that flit across his neck and back. They move with precision, hunting ticks and pests among his fur. They feed off his skin, and he gains relief. A partnership as old as the land itself, mutual instinctive. The giraffe halts. His gaze is sharp and thoughtful. He's cautious. He knows all too well how vulnerable he becomes when lowering his head to drink. First, he cleans his nose, reaching up with his flexible, muscular tongue, dark purple and nearly black. That tongue, up to 45 centimeters long, is perfect not just for feeding on leaves, but for self-care too. He scans the surroundings for a long time. To drink, he'll need to splay his front legs wide and lower his long neck, a posture awkward and defenseless. In such a moment, even a towering bull giraffe becomes a target. Lions know this. That's why every sip is a small act of courage. Slowly, gracefully, cautiously, he prepares to lean forward. The giraffe hesitates. He bends slowly, measuring every movement with precision, then straightens again, as if something troubles him. Something unseen, perhaps a flicker in the distance, or just a feeling. He tries once more, folding his knees, spreading his legs as far apart as his awkward build allows. This graceful creature becomes angular, unsteady like a tower moments before it topples. His lips nearly touch the water, but no, he rises again. Still, eyes alert. Neck tense, his entire being listens to the world. He stands in a position of complete vulnerability, and he knows it. And finally, when nothing threatens, when stillness settles over the land, he lowers himself once more. Slowly, deliberately, his legs stretch wide, his long neck dips low, and at last, his lips meet the water. He begins to drink cautiously, deeply savoring the rare chance to quench his thirst. Even now, his eyes scan the horizon. He never truly lets his guard down. It's no surprise that the giraffe's knees are often bare, with rough, calloused skin and patches without hair. It's not disease, it's anatomy and habit. When a giraffe kneels to rest or to reach low like now, for water those joints press against the hard earth. Over time, the fur wears away and the skin thickens. It's the price of posture, the body adapting to a difficult need. That thickened skin serves as natural armor. It's less prone to injury, a biological cushion for a vulnerable pose. And it's these bare patches that attract the oxpecker's easy access to parasites and minor wounds. The giraffe doesn't seem to mind. Perhaps he even welcomes the help. A giraffe can drink up to 10, 15 liters of water at once, though he does so rarely. In the wild, he gets most of his hydration from leaves, especially from moisture-rich acacias. Thanks to this leafy diet, he can go days without drinking an advantage in the dry savanna where waterholes are scarce and dangerous. As for his coat, those striking patches are more than decoration. Each giraffe's pattern is unique, like a fingerprint. The markings provide camouflage among dappled foliage, but also help regulate temperature. Beneath each patch lies a network of blood vessels that draw heat away from the body. In this way, the giraffe's spots act like built-in radiators, helping him stay cool even under the searing sun. Moreover, the darkness and contrast of the spots can indicate age and health. Males with darker coats are often older, stronger, and more dominant. Amid the sandy landscape, where dry leaves whisper in the breeze, a family of Botswana sandgrouse moves unhurriedly. The male leads the way. His back glistens in the sunlight, dark feathers dotted with white, like embroidery. He is alert, proud, attentive, scanning the bushes, listening to every sound. Beside him walks the female, more muted, her plumage blending perfectly with the earth. She's nearly indistinguishable from the sand and dry brush. And between them, like tiny pebbles scattered across the ground, scurry their chicks. The little ones can't fly yet, but their tiny feet already move with purpose, picking up seeds, insects, and tender shoots. They wander off in all directions, but never too far. Mother and father keep them close, calling softly, encouraging gently. Their movement as a group is like a quiet dance of care, unfolding in the wild rhythm of the savanna. And then the father reveals a wonder. Early each morning, he flies off to the nearest waterhole, sometimes many kilometers away. His breast feathers are specially adapted to hold moisture. He carefully settles in the water, soaking up the life-giving liquid into his plumage, then returns to his waiting brood. The chicks rush to him, thirsty and eager, drinking the water straight from his feathers as if he brings them the rarest gift. It's a silent, tender ritual, a father's devotion in a world of drought. Botswana sandgrouse are masters of disguise. They lay their eggs right on the ground, hidden among stones and scrub. Both the eggs and the chicks are camouflaged to match the soil. Even then, they remain watchful. Every rustle could mean danger. Now, with the heat softened and the light golden, the family rests in a patch of sparse grass. The male briefly spreads his wings, as if shielding the young from the world. The female lowers her head to nudge a chick's beak with her own gentle, wordless care. There is no hurry here, no noise, just devotion, dust, and the quiet breath of eternity. And so, another day draws to a close in the pride of Bakari and Nala, a day filled with play, watchfulness, sun, and the ever-turning wheel of life. Now the sun sinks behind the horizon, painting the sky in soft rose and slate blue hues. The shadows of tall acacias stretch long across the land, and the world seems to hold its breath. But for the lions, the day is only beginning. With dusk comes a new rhythm. The lionesses rise, stretch, shake the dust from their coats. Their movements become more focused, their ears more alert, their sense of smell sharpened. The wind carries scents, maybe wildebeest, maybe impala, or perhaps just the cool promise of night. Bakari and his brother no longer lie in the shade. They stand still, listening to the distant echoes. Their manes ripple in the evening breeze, and their eyes catch the last glimmers of the sun. They won't join the hunt tonight. Their task is different. They are guardians. Not every male stays close to the pride, but they stayed. The lionesses slip into the dark. They move swiftly, silently. This is their time. A time to reclaim the strength spent on motherhood, on patience, on care. They don't hunt for thrill, but for the pride, for life, for the dawn that must come. And the cubs, they can no longer resist sleep. Curled up in a soft, furry heap, they lie together like tiny embers. One flicks a paw at a sibling's ear, another sighs in his dream, a third sniffles quietly. They sleep with the trust of those who know adults are near, and so is their world. And so ends another day in wild Africa, a day where every creature played its part. From the fragile sandgrouse to the mighty lion, from the squirrel in the tree to the distant hyena, life moves forward without asking permission, without seeking notice. It simply flows like wind through the grass, like sun across the sky, like shadows on the earth. And tomorrow, it will all begin again.